Chapter 2. Janica's white t-shirt ruffled softly in the breeze, and a shiver ran down her spine. She tried to look relaxed as she leaned her head against the metal railing and stretched out her legs. She'd felt hot while riding, but now she was glad for her long jeans. It was cold on the bridge, and the sidewalk here wasn't particularly clean. We're commonly known as a task force, but that reminds people of the Nazis, so our official name is Special Forces Unit, or SFU for short. 1 week ago, we were called to a hostage situation at a single-family house. A distant relative was holding the wife and 3 children hostage. It was a confusing situation, especially since our negotiators were never able to make contact. We had no idea why the man was holding the family captive in their own home. The hours passed, until suddenly we heard gunfire. Stefan paused and looked up at the starry sky. His posture suggested calm, but the erratic way he stroked Baloo, who'd trustingly placed his head on the man's thigh, showed how troubled he was. The dog whimpered. The husband, the father, was going crazy. Understandably, Janica whispered. Yes, absolutely, I've got a family. Stefan ran his fingers through his short blonde hair. If anyone hurt my Marie... He broke off and buried his face in his hands, his broad shoulders trembling. Janica tensed up, realizing where this story was going. Are you sure you want to hear this? Stefan asked, looking at her intently. Janica smiled in spite of herself. This man, who belonged to some sort of elite unit of the German police, was hurting so badly that he'd been ready to jump off a bridge. And now he was worried about her. Don't worry. I can take it. If he only knew. She pushed aside the memories of her own past. We almost never need to use firearms. Shooting at a person happens once every 8 to 10 years, maybe. But that day, we found ourselves in a dangerous and chaotic situation. We feared for the hostages' lives and had to act. I had a clear shot at the man as he walked past a window, and I aimed for his thigh. The moment I pulled the trigger, my colleagues stormed the house. Stefan paused to suck in air. It was as if an invisible force was pulling him to the bottom of a deep lake, and it took him several agonizing minutes to reemerge. And then, that child. Out of nowhere. Stefan's voice failed him. He pushed Baloo aside, pulled up his legs, and wrapped his arms around them, wedging his head between his knees. His words were muffled. The little boy fought for his life, but today I got the phone call. Janica pressed her lips together. Tears welled up in her eyes. She longed to put her hand on Stefan's shoulder, but she stopped herself. His body shook from the guilt and despair. All of a sudden, he sat up with a jerk, making her jump. If only I hadn't tried to spare that guy's life, he shouted into the night, raging at himself and the whole world. For a few seconds, the wind, the leaves in the trees, the waves, and even the distant traffic noise seemed to fall silent, as if the world was holding its breath in the face of so much pain. If I'd aimed higher, the family would still be together. I destroyed them. Stefan, I destroyed my family too, he snarled at her. My constant absence, my stubbornness, the obligation to secrecy, work always came between me and my wife. She asked me 100 times to change divisions, but I didn't want to. It's tough getting into the SFU, and I didn't want to throw away all that training. I felt like I was doing something important. Stefan paused to collect himself. I guess I destroyed Marie's life too. Children should grow up with both their parents. Janica didn't reply. She had no idea what she should or shouldn't say. A child's death was always terrible, unnecessary, and unfair. Stefan knew as well as she did that he never meant to hurt the boy. But this gave him no consolation, didn't ease the pain in his heart and soul. Janica wrung her hands. She'd never dealt with a suicidal man pouring his heart out to her on a sidewalk.